what I watch is this whole concept of being Whole Foods, as an example, and that concept of 3 Ps. There is a happiness in the people that work there. And so it strikes me very clearly, it's a formation, it's a foundation of our business, but when you kind of move from the heart, when you operate from the heart, rather than being in the motion of the hurry up and make more money or make something happen, you start to find that your ability to create is much more peaceful and much more productive. And that's what I'm watching unfolding right now, as you're seeing that third dimensional commerce from the only profit line, bottom line, is really beginning to fall apart because it has no place to go but what you are defining.
Yeah, because what happens is that if you concentrate on the bottom line, and let's say you're supposed to have certain sales in the next 6 months, and by the end of the year, X amount of sales, and if the person or the manager realizes that he's not going to meet those limits, or those requested from them from the management, then they have to compromise how they do commerce. They might have to cheat. They might have to do really sleazy competition. They might have to cheat the customers, cheat themselves, just to reach that bottom line. But if they start by saying, why am I doing, instead of the what, the bottom line, why I'm doing this, and then how I'm doing it, then the bottom line is guaranteed. It's not brittle anymore. It's actually, they might even create more than the bottom line that they expected. They might create miracles, magic and miracles, and twice and 3 times more than they expect. So that's why it's important to go from the top, why and how we're doing business, versus the what, which is the end. Because then, we won't have to compromise our character, integrity, and spirituality along the way.
Yeah, very much. And that one single bottom line of profitability creates a tremendous fear within each one of the individuals. It forces us to work more, deny our families, spend more time at work, and many times doing it from a place that you don't have any good answer to how to make something happen other than being in the fear of what you just described. So this level of fear has been a tremendous motivator, and that's what I'm watching beginning to change as people's hearts are changing in this shift. I just had a conversation with somebody talking about the concept of investing. And the question I asked him is, why do you invest? Well, because that's the only way I can keep from losing my money through inflation or whatever it may be. I keep investing. But in fact, I asked him, you've been investing a long time, and did you lose money in 1987? Oh, yes, a lot, when their markets fell apart, and in 1992, and in 2001, and in 2007. And I had to say, how strong have your investments actually been for you over your life? And he said, I worry about them every day. And, that concept of investing is a unconscious motion away from ourselves of protection. It doesn't create commerce or well-being.
It's funny, while listening to you talk about investing, I just saw it in my eyes, in-vesting. It's really the investment should be in the self,
Yes.
And that is the real investment. But if it goes outside the self, then it becomes, full of worries and fear and angers and all that stuff.
Yeah. I just had an experience. I went and bought a suit, and I haven't bought a suit in a long time. And I asked the man in this store, and it was an expensive men's clothing store, and I asked him, are you a good tailor? And he said, I've been doing this for 35 years. And it wasn't quite an insult to my question, but it was a curiosity. And I said, well, I really am interested in this suit. And he said, it's my favorite suit. It's the only suit I've ever worn out in my life, this one that you want to buy. And I said, fine, I'll buy it. And so it came, and he tailored it. But what he did when he tailored it, he took his little marker and he said, well, here, this will take care of this, 1 mark. And then he pulled in the waistline, 1 mark, and he sent it off to the tailor. And it came back, and it did not fit. And I said, well, what about this? And he said, oh, I can take that in too, and made 1 more mark and sent it off to the tailor. And when it came back, it still wasn't correct. And so I took it, though. I wanted to see it for myself when I got home. And I got home and I tried it on, and Roxanne looked at it, and she said, that doesn't fit. And what was very interesting is the man was more interested in selling the suit than being the tailor that he had spent 35 years becoming. And if he had just spent a little bit of time being the tailor, he would have had a happy customer who would have come back, walk out the door.
Actually, my wife would love to hear that, what you said, because she used to remind me years ago because I'm a salesman, a businessman, and I used to be sometimes in that domain. Like, I became more of a salesman than actually the visionary or the author or the businessman or whatever I was doing. And that's really true. I mean, I experienced it myself.
Yes, but you know where I think the miracle is going to come, and it's going to come, and it's going to be very similar to this. There will be a day when that man will look in the mirror and see the sadness of all of the suits he sold, and he will remember the moment when he did be the tailor, and he crafted the perfect suit, and he sent the customer out happy, joyful, and he felt good. What happens, I think, is going to happen in commerce is, and not only in commerce, in each one of us, there's going to be a place where we don't cut corners, where we're going to love what we do. And when we pass it on, we don't care whether we made a lot of money, but we do care about the quality and the experience that we just had. And you're going to find you'll make more money by being that tailor than you ever will by being the salesman.
And that's more and more sacred commerce. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because
the
experience that they went through their creation and elegance and excellence in how they produced this and so on, and the love for their task or their function really elevate them spiritually. That lift them to a higher resonance.